Oh my gosh, you guys, stop whatever you're doing and just look at this cover. I mean, seriously, take in the absolute vibe here for a second. The tension, the atmosphere, it's literally everything. Today, we are diving deep into an explainer of Vivian Rees-Clark's newest sapphic fantasy masterpiece of Crown and Knot. I have been completely obsessing over this story, and I am dying to break down exactly why this is your next absolute must-read. If you love high-stakes fantasy, insane chemistry, and characters who would literally burn the whole world down for each other, yeah, you're in the right place.
So let's get right to the heart of the matter. What happens when your sworn enemy is the one person your soul is destined to claim? I mean, we're talking about the absolute peak of romance tropes here. We've got enemies to lovers, violently colliding with fated mates. It's intensely dramatic, it's so passionate, and let me tell you, the author sets this tone right out of the gate. You have two kingdoms that absolutely despise each other, and two women who are biologically unavoidably meant to be together. Section 1. The ultimate enemy is set up. Captain versus Princess. So, picture this. We find ourselves in this frosty, forgotten fortress, right in the dead of winter. It's supposed to be a neutral peace summit between two warring kingdoms, Valeria and Eldoria. It's a classic high-stakes political stage, where every single word is a weapon, every smile is totally a lie, and our two leads, they are forced into incredibly close quarters to supposedly negotiate peace. And the contrast between our main characters is just delicious. First up, meet Captain Elara Voss. She is Valeria's absolute deadliest alpha knight. She's tall, broad-shouldered, covered in battle scars, completely bound by duty, and just commands this dark, overwhelming presence. And then we have Princess Liora of Eldoria. She's this brilliant Omega who's essentially been locked away, heavily drugged with suppressants, and used as a literal political pawn by her own people. She might be physically caged, but mentally, she is a rebellious, sharp-witted fighter. Okay, I have to spill the tea on their very first meeting. The King of Valeria literally assigns Elara to be Leora's bodyguard during this summit, and Leora instantly calls it out, saying, "My jailer arrives at last." Elara, totally trying to be the stoic soldier, just shoots back, "Guardian." The term is guardian. The icy, biting banter between them is absolute perfection. They're wearing these strict political masks, but underneath, you can feel this electric chemistry bubbling. Elara is supposed to hate Omegas, and Liora hates the Valeric military, but the second they're in the same room, total sparks. Which brings us to Section 2, Forced Proximity and Heat, the summit's boiling point. You know we absolutely love this trope. As these political talks drag on for days in this cramped, tension-filled castle, the forced physical proximity just starts breaking down all their icy defenses. They are constantly right by each other's sides, and the stakes keep skyrocketing because, well, there's a biological, ticking time bomb happening right under the surface. So, for our non-fantasy readers, let's quickly cover the lore. In this world, alphas and omegas experience these really intense, instinctual drives. Omegas have heats, and alphas have ruts. Now, for years, Princess Liora has been forced to take herbal suppressants to basically bury her heat and keep her perfectly docile for the court. But the stress of the summit, plus being in such close quarters with an insanely powerful alpha like Elara, yeah, those suppressants are failing, and fast. Her body is waking up. The intoxicating scent of honey and jasmine meets primal pine and smoke. Oh my gosh, I am literally swooning. As Leora's suppressants start to fray, her natural scent, honey and jasmine, just starts flooding the room. And Elara, who usually has this ironclad control, finds her own alpha rut involuntarily answering Leora's heat with the scent of primal pine and smoke. Their scents are literally twisting together in the air. It's so sensual, so expressive, and they're both just desperately trying to pretend they aren't a perfect scent match. But despite all the biological warfare happening in their veins, we get these incredibly gorgeous moments of real emotional vulnerability. There's this grand banquet where they are forced to dance. Elara, this hulking, scarred knight, is holding Liora with so much unexpected gentleness. And Liora just confesses, "I hate what you stand for, but you're not what I expected." You guys, the walls are completely coming down. The enemy lines are blurring right before our eyes. If you're loving this passionate story as much as we are, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your fellow romance lovers, and subscribe to Velvet Ink Press so you never miss your next favorite book escape. Okay, let's step back into the action because the pacing here goes from a slow burn to an absolute explosion. Section 3, Betrayal and Snowy Escape. Steel rings in narrow halls, literally right when they are starting to finally understand each other. The peace summit just erupts into total chaos. Here is the major breaking point. During a really tense council meeting, Leora's suppressants completely fail. Just a raw wave of heat floods the chamber, sending the Alpha Lords into a total frenzy. And right in that exact moment of distraction, assassins strike from the shadows. Arrows start flying everywhere. It's his heart-pounding action sequence. And what does Elara do? She doesn't follow her Valeric orders. Nope. Her alpha protective instincts completely take over. She actually draws her sword, fights off her own side, and grabs the princess to save her life. Which brings us to my absolute favorite trope, a breathless, forced proximity escape into the freezing mountains. Elara and Liora manage to steal a horse, just one horse, obviously, because romance, and flee the castle right into a howling blizzard. They are riding double, freezing cold, sharing a single cloak, and sharing body heat while Liora is completely engulfed in her Omega heat. The tension is honestly off the charts. And they eventually find this abandoned hunter's cabin, deep in the woods. And later, these hidden hot springs. Look, I'm not going to give away all the steamy details, but let me just say, the explosive chemistry when they finally give in, unmatched. It becomes this beautiful emotional sanctuary. When Liora tries to apologize for her heat, Elara just stops her and says, "Never apologize for us." They confirm their fated mates bond right there in the wild. It is literally everything you want in a steamy romance. But wait, because the author does not let us rest for a second. Section 4, a jaw-dropping plot twist. Whispers in the Wild. Just as they're riding further north toward a rebel sanctuary, riding the absolute high of finally being together, the narrative tension builds right back up to a boiling point. A broken seal in the saddlebag reveals a devastating truth. Okay, while Elara is outside keeping watch in the freezing woods, Liora is rummaging through their stolen supplies, and she finds a letter. A sealed letter with the Valeric King's crest right on it. And I am totally freaking out just remembering this scene because what she reads literally changes the entire trajectory of the book. Here is the massive double betrayal. The letter reveals that King Aldrich of Valeria gave secret orders to his men. If the peace talks failed, they were to assassinate Princess Liora and blame Eldoria just to launch a full invasion. But wait, it gets so much worse. Liora realizes her own people, the Eldorian lords, knew about the threat and purposefully stood by to let her die, just so they could reap the war profits. Both kingdoms orchestrated the assassination. Both kingdoms want war, which means our newly bonded fated mates are officially being hunted by absolutely everyone. The ultimate stakes have arrived. When love becomes the threat, who survives the peace? How on earth are Elara and Liora going to survive a dual kingdom hunt? How do they rally a sanctuary of rebels to fight back against this massive conspiracy? Well, I am stopping the explainer right here because I absolutely refuse to spoil this jaw-dropping conclusion for you. The way they turn the tables and start a revolution is something you literally have to read to believe. Ready to dive into the heat right now? You can grab your copy of this steamy romance ebook today. Just click the link attached in the description of this video to start reading instantly. Don't wait. Go check the description. Get your ebook at https:/mybook2/lg-148 and find out what happens next.